Hey guys, it's Amy with Crafts by Aimee. We are in an event today. I'm on early so that I can get shared into a group and all that goodness. And I'm sure that my camera is a little crooked, so I'll try and straighten it out a little bit. I didn't mean to flip it that far. Good lord. I just wanted it to be straight so y'all could see it. Okay. Now that we've got that fixed. Oh. Let's call birds out of here. Can't find the pack that I was using before. I don't know what I did with it, but I'm glad I had another pack. Let's see. Let me get a new one for that. I took the lid off of this the other day to fix it, to clean it all out. And I don't know what I did with it. So I am just going to put this on here. Make sure this pin fits, which it should. It's a little tight, but... So we are in Adventures in Crafting today, you guys. It's Crafter's Choice on Sundays. And before me was Cathy with CC Redesign, and up after me is Heather with Creating with Love and Grace. She does all kinds of cool wood kits and stuff. So the event started at 9 a.m. Central Time, which I slept through about 3 of the crafters and half of the 4th one. I'm not an early riser on Sunday, and I kind of didn't set an alarm clock. So, and then after Heather is Donna with Donna's Crafts, and she'll be closing the event today. So I will be coming back on later to do my haul video. If you saw yesterday, I'm going to show all my stuff that I have from my trip last weekend. So I did an event once that was going to the movies, and I never finished my crafts. So today's basically projects half done for me. So we've got this. These are hidden tags. I made them out of a popcorn container. So it's just got a thing in it, and then it says popcorn on both sides. So these were the front and back of the popcorn container. Back in there. Get it back in there. That would be great. And then this I did with the sides of the container. I cut the sides off. So it's just another one. I didn't decorate the back, but it is another, and it's longer and thinner. And then I left it in the case next to me, and I just forgot to get it out, and that one was already sitting on my desk, so I'm using it. So I'm going to glue these envelopes on the inside of this once I get this glued down. And I'm just gluing this right here at the edge of this background sheet that I have. Like I said, it doesn't have anything else because I totally messed this one up and then I reprinted it. So we're also going to put together the one that I printed that is correctly. I've done some of it, but I haven't done a ton of it. Thanks, Shea. So I would like to say thank you to our admins for today, which is I've screwed up. So, you know, that's not really surprising. So I'm just showing you that you can keep your stuff that you've messed up and make it something else. So, hi, Miss Ronnie. Thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate that. So I did this one on the bottom. I'm going to attach this one on top of this one. So it is going to cover up part of the movie, the retro movie sign. Unless, unless I flip it over and glue this, both of them, and I'm not hiding any of the printing stuff. So, but this was supposed to go, and these, and then I also screwed up one of these, but I'm not fixing it because it's the only thing screwed up. So I accidentally glued this on this tab upside down. So it's a little flip thing, even though where it needs to be before I do anything else. So this piece goes on this side and gets glued down. And this piece goes on this side and gets glued down. And this piece is the one I'm going to make the little notebook with. And I think it's supposed to go here with this belly band thing, although I'm not sure why it's so long. It's supposed to be here and you're supposed to slip this underneath it. But this is all it came with, was this piece. So like I said, I think I'm going to add some of these pages in here. And I'm not sure why this is so long. I might have to cut it down, because I don't want it to be as long as it is. It doesn't need to be that long. So we're adding some more heft to this side, but I think we'll be fine. I still think we'll be able to close it and it'll be fine. And I might actually do a closure on here. That's another reason that that I'm not going to do this until the end, basically, till I have everything ready. So I might use some of my ribbons in here and make a tie closure at the end. I might use this lighter blue. It's not light really, but I like the length of it, or the width of it, I guess you could say. Not the length. So I might use this and glue that on the front and back for a tie closure, because I am adding some heft to it. It's a lot thicker than I think it. Actually, I didn't add anything to this, so actually I might, since I haven't glued anything down, I think I might do what Christy is saying. I think this is what Christy is saying. Like, fold these over the ends right here whenever I get this in place. So we'll glue this piece in where it needs to be, and then glue this piece over it and fold the ends back so they're glued on the back before we put the back piece. I think that's what Christy was trying to say. So before I glue anything else, I'm going to make that little notebook thing. So putting all of that together, I'm going to pull out, let's see, how many pages do I think I want? See how wide this is. I want to see how wide I want the pages to be, because I don't know if I want to make them. I'm going to get a ruler out, because y'all know sometimes I measure things. And the ruler is always upside down and backwards. So this is, I wouldn't want the thing to be any wider than 3 inches. Paper, I mean. And these are 5. So they'd be about 2.5 inches if I folded them in half. That could work. And then I just have to cut off the bottom of the paper. That could work. Okay, we're gonna pull a couple of pages out of here. Maybe like 6 pages. That'll work, because that'll be 12 pages once we fold them in half. I am gonna pull them apart individually. Hi, Mary. So that when so that they're not like glued together, because y'all know they're glued together at the top on these kind of things. So let's get them all separated. Okay. Y'all, I actually found all of my stuff that I was looking for. My mini scoreboard, my mini glass mat, my mini cutting mat, and my, what else was in there? Oh, my smaller Fiskars trimmer. Yep, your girl found all of that. It was literally at my feet and I did not notice it. Where did I put? Here it is. If you've ever watched me before, y'all know I like using my scoreboards for folding, because I have a problem with folding things straight. So I'm just going to use all of these together and fold them over, because it's not going to make much difference whether you fold them over now or you fold them over individually and you have to try to fix them. So this is going to be our paper that's going inside here. So it's actually really narrow compared to this, but I'm okay with that. And I am going to trim it. And I was literally just talking about my like, where did I put this? So This is 6, so we'll trim them down to 6 inches. So I'm getting my trimmer out. I'm just keeping them all together because this trimmer should cut through all the pages. And I'm just putting it at 6.5 inch, not 6.5. Why did I just say 6.5? 6 inches. So now we have a mini thing. We can make a mini notebook for something. That'll be cool. I've never done a mini notebook. Ooh, that could be cute in the little things that I messed up. These things. Be cool to put these in here. I would have to trim the edges, but that'd be pretty cool to put that in there. I could put like 3 in each. So 1, because I did pull out 6 pages. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is going to go in here. Let's see how wide this is. I always have this room. We'll do 2 inches. I will show you the mini one because the mini one, this is the mini one that I couldn't find. So let's lighten these up. And we're just going to cut them down to 2 inches. And since there's only 3 pages here, this mini one will cut right through. Well, this is cool because it actually gives me something to put in all of the things. So I'm not wasting any of this paper except for a small sliver, which I'm not keeping that. One of these days I do want to make paper, like colored paper out of scraps, but for today, I'm not doing that. I did take out my seasons journal. Actually, I had my Made in the 80s journal out and I was going to work on that, but it's falling apart and now I need to fix it. So, yeah. So I am going to sew this together and I think I'm going to use my light gray thread. I think that'll go best with the blue. Got that. Let me get my needle. And those are not what I'm looking for. My mini scissors to cut that. And I am going to grab, where is it? Where is my spine punch? I don't think I brought it with me to Tampa, but I don't see it anywhere. And I usually just keep it right underneath my desk. Let me check the Tampa bag just to be on the safe side. It's behind me. And I don't remember seeing it in here. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere. That's weird. For anyone wondering, I have a We Are Memory Keepers thing that is a spine punch for journals. And I usually just use that because it just holds everything in place. I just don't see it anywhere. I don't know where. I've got to stop losing things in this room. Thanks, Kim. Well, that sucks. I don't know where it went. It's not going to take me long to sew any of this stuff together. It's just, it would be nice if I had my punch thing. It should be right here, and it's not. I don't know where it is. Well, thanks, Cathy. I honestly don't know where it could be because I literally just cleaned stuff off before I went to Tampa. And now that I'm back, I can't find things. I found paper trimmers under my desk that I forgot were even there. Oh, well, we're going to have to figure this out on our own. So I'm just going to put the paper in the center. And I guess I'm just going to use some paper clips because I don't have anything else to use. I don't need 3, but that's what came out, so that's what I have. So I'm just gonna, my papers came unlined. I am going to actually flip this over so that my low red lines are on this side when I open the paper. It's just personal preference. You don't have to do what I'm doing. Now I'm just trying to kind of line it up in the middle of the opening, and I'm just going to put one of these on each side to keep it in place. And actually, I am going to grab another one so that I can do the same thing to this one. Even though this one is upside down, I am still putting the papers in right side up. Let's see. There's that up in the middle. Put one paper clip on each side. Because you want it when you're sewing, you need a spike. You need to poke holes in the spine to be able to sew. So let's see. I'll do that there, there, there. Okay, that works. I like doing 3. So I'm using my lines on my paper as a guide for poking these holes. And this isn't all for anybody that doesn't know. They sell these in the leather section at Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure if they sell them. I don't even know if Michael's has a leather section, but you can buy them on Amazon. Ooh, that was way too big of a hole. That's why I like my thing that I have, because then I don't poke my all that hard through it and have a ginormous hole that the thread is gonna poke through. Oh, thanks for having me, Shea. So again, I'm gonna do the same thing on this one. I'm poking it at the spine. Ow, that just stabbed my finger. So fun fact, I went to Tampa for a fun little craft weekend, and your girl burnt her finger with hot glue. Then I went to my hotel to pick up my storage container with stuff in it for crafting. And on the way back, I slammed the finger that got burnt with the glue in the door of the car. And then I don't remember what the third thing was. There was a third thing that happened. I'm like, this needs to stop. So I am going to use my smaller needle. I don't need a really big needle for this because it's a tiny little book. I think this one's the smaller one. So yeah, I had fun last weekend, but I did poke myself. Oh, I poked myself with the pokey tool. That was the third thing I did, and it was all in the same day. So I'm just going to measure 1, 2, 3. I don't need any more than that because I'm only doing 3. And you can sew them however you want. I tend to sew from the outside in. Some people like sewing and leaving the knot on the inside. I don't. And sometimes I come back in here with the like a piece of ribbon or something. So you come up through the middle or you go down through the middle. Then you do either bottom or top. And then whatever the one you haven't come through, that's the last hole. And then you go back through the middle one and ta-da, you have your thread in the same spot, so you can tie a knot that's really tight so that it will not come undone. And yes, this needle has a really big eye, so the thread came right back through it very easily. And you want to make sure your threads are tight before you tie your knot. And I did not. I just kind of pulled it, and now my thread's going the other way. Okay. I will probably come back and put something on the spine. If I find some like gingham ribbon that I have that's thin, or some organza ribbon, or just something, because the spine, I don't like it showing. That's just me. I have issues. So you just tie a couple of knots in there and then snip the thread to make it shorter. And if you're like me, I'm going to tape it down. Is this tape clear? This is just the tape from Dollar General. I'm just using a little tiny piece, and I'm going down my threads right here in the middle. And I'm making sure I can fold it so that my tape stays down. And now I can take my little paper clips off. So now we've got one of them fixed. And we can put it back in the pocket. And it's nice that it has the little tag at the top so you can pull it back out. Yes. I'm not even gonna lie, I am a perfectionist. I have been that way since as long as I can remember. I had a teacher in junior high that I took home ec, and we were sewing together a 9 square pillow. And I was the last person to finish because I can't even tell you how many times I used the stitch ripper. And she told me if I didn't stop, she was going to flunk me, and I didn't want that. And my pillow turned out really cute, and then my dog chewed on it, and yeah, that was not fun. Like, I spent all that time perfecting that pillow. But, you know, there's only so much we can do. But yes, I am a perfectionist, and I have learned that I need to let go. I need to be like Elsa. So I am stitching, leaving the tail so that I have something to tie later. And then I'm going in the bottom and up through the top. You can go in through the top and out through the bottom. It doesn't matter. There's only 3 holes, so you only have one way to go. You only have 2 options to start with, and then you only have 1 to end. Okay, so pulling that tail a little bit further. And this has a really big eye. That's why I have to keep threading it, because it keeps coming unthreaded. Oh, and for those of you that don't know Christy, that was in the comments, she was one of the hostesses for the craft thing that I went to in Tampa last weekend. And I drove there from Louisiana, so it was kind of a trip. I did break up my day going there, but on the way back I drove straight home, and it's about 9.5, 10 hours, depending on if you stop for lunch, which I did, because this girl got hungry, and I needed to get gas anyway, so I did both at the same exit. And then I had a live that night when I came home, because it was actually my event, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to be in my event. Luckily, I have some great people that all stepped up to be admins for the day, because I know how much work goes into that. That's why it's awesome to have as many as they do for AIC, but they do multiple events a week, so it's even better to have multiple. I only have 1 event each week, and I'm the only mod in my administrator and my group. So, yeah. And my haul that I'm going to do later today after the event is over is going to be all my stuff from Tampa, and I have a ton of it. It took me all week to get it back upstairs. Well, not back upstairs, but upstairs, because my craft room and my bedroom are upstairs, and it took the whole week to do. So again, I'm just taking a small piece of tape. Ooh, that was bigger than I needed, but it is what it is. I'm just doing that, and then I'm folding it to make sure that this tape will stay down. And then I'm going to take these away. And yes, like I said, this one is upside down, but I don't really care. I wasn't fixing it. So now we need to do this one. And I might use all 4 of these paper clips for this since it's longer, to make sure I can get it to stay in place on all of it. So 2 on the bottom, 1 on each side, and 2 on the top, 1 on each side. You could also use binder clamps. We had a lot of fun. Christy actually came back to our hotel Sunday night and hung out with us for a really long time. We got to catch up with her. Beth went home and had food, so her husband cooked for her. Let's see. And Beth's husband is from Louisiana, New Orleans also. So she had surf and turf. She got lucky. Let's see. I'm eyeballing this. I know it's going to be at least lined up correctly with the lines. I just don't know if the lines are spaced out evenly, but at this point I really don't care, as long as I have holes that I can sew into. That's all I care about at this point. So this one's going to be longer thread wise, just because the piece of paper is longer. if I were doing more stitches, because I tend to do that on bigger journals that I do, I would make my thread longer. I would probably do 3.5 lengths of this, because it takes more thread when you're stitching more than one set of stitches. Which basically, if I do mine, I don't even know why I have it like this. Let me move this so y'all can even see what I am doing. Somewhat. Because when you're I do 6 stitches when I do bigger ones. Or if I have pages that are not the same height, then I do 6 stitches. And when you do 6 stitches, it's like doing twice what I'm doing right now. So it's like you do one set of the 3 and then you do another set. So it takes more. Speaking of Beth, there is Beth. She must have heard me talking about her. She went home and had food, and Christy came back and had food and hung out. And Christy gave us avocados. And I tried to eat one the other day. It wasn't ripe yet. I cut it all up. I had it all diced, and I went to bite into a piece, and I'm like, yeah, this is not good. I'm just going to wait to eat the rest of these later. I hate that. So when I was watching the crafter before me, I kid y'all not, I spent 15 minutes trying to share her from my phone and my iPad. And every time I shared on my page, it would just show up my, I'm trying to think of what it is. Like my header thing. It would show that in a post, and I'm like, this is not what I was trying to share. So finally I went on my laptop because I needed to set up my live anyway, and it finally let me share from my computer. I don't know what is up with Facebook, but it needs to get its act together. Because it's starting to freaking annoy everybody. Okay. So now we can take our paper clips out. And we've got our little notebook. My paper clips, where they go. So they're not just hanging out on my desk. I still need to fix this. The day that I went to leave the hotel, I had been checking to make sure. So I have this case. It has 4 layers, and they all lock into place. And I had been making sure to make sure all of it was locked up. And when we were getting ready to leave the hotel room, yeah, the bottom level was not locked in place, and I had the binder clamps, bulldog clips, and paper clips going all over the hotel room. So I was like, yeah, that's not my idea of fun. So now we can glue. We can glue, we can glue, we can glue. So we're going to glue the inside pieces first. You could tape if you wanted to. I have tape. I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. But I think I'm just going to use my glue. So I'm going to glue this piece in. I don't have anything else that needs to go behind it. So I think we're good with this. So we're gluing this part on this side, and then it folds open, and you have this envelope you can put stuff in. And I am just I have art glitter glue in here, for anybody that's wondering. And this is a new tip on this one, because my old one was really clogged, and I took it off to clean it, and it's somewhere in that container. This is just a new one. So the reason I screwed this up on the other one is because it has this flap that was supposed to be glued to this, and I just glued it on the inside of the envelope. I was not following directions. Although her directions were really hard to follow, because I had to go find her YouTube page, because I just couldn't follow what she was showing in the little video that was on the page that this was sold on. It was just like a reel, and I couldn't follow it. So I'm flipping this back over to make sure I have it straight. And then I'm just gluing it over where that white was. Obviously, I cannot, Yay! So Beth and Christy were the 2 hostesses They did an awesome job. The only thing that I would say is I want it to be longer next time because it's a very long trip and I would like to hang out longer. So we get that part in, and I'm going to glue this part in, and then I'm going to take the belly band and I'm going to glue that in and flip it over and glue it on the back. So I'm going to do the same thing I did on the side. Just putting glue all over this. Or next time I go to Tampa, I might fly, but then I would need a car because I have so much stuff that I brought home. If I flew, I would literally have an empty suitcase with me. Which I'm not saying is a bad thing because I fly Southwest and I get a free bag. Because I'm one of their, like, frequent... I'm not a frequent flyer, but I have miles. Okay. So we've got that. And this goes here, but it goes on the this belly band. And I think I'm going to try and do what Christy was suggesting. And we're going to... I'm not folding it yet, but... I mean, I'm not gluing it yet, but I am going to see where I could fold it. See how this works. So fold it down there. And glue it on the back. And then fold it up here. And glue it on the back. So I'm going to flip it over. Try to get it to lay flat. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on these two end flaps and glue them down. It doesn't have to be even. And by even, I mean in the middle because your girl wasn't even paying attention to that. So but now we have this on the back. And then these are 2 pieces that go on the front and back. This is our back piece. This is going to be our front. Even though if you go to this listing on Etsy, it will be the opposite, and I don't understand it. So you're still going to see some of this tab behind this, but not as much as you would have. Also, it kind of blends in. It's just slightly different color. This is why I don't go through my art glitter glue too fast, because I use the smallest amount known to man. No, that was not where I wanted you centered. It looks like a lot, but it really is not a lot of glue. I have had the same glue bottle for, let's see, I started doing journaling last March, I think. And I got this big bottle. And why I say big, this 8-ounce bottle, and it still has at least 2 ounces left in it. And I've been refilling this thing. This is what I've been using for the past year. These little containers. I have this one, and I had another one that was just, I think I was trying to put it in my to-go stuff for when I go to my sister, but I don't know where it is. It's somewhere, I think it was in the little tray thing that I used to have on my desk, and it's not here anymore. It's on the floor somewhere. So we're gluing this one on this side. And then we're going to put that under our belly band, and then we'll be finished with this. But I also have, we can work on it like an ATC card. So we have that. And then we can either, you can either put the whole thing into where it's in the middle of the whole book, or you could just do it with the bottom. I think you're supposed to put it closer to the edge so that you can put it up against it, but I didn't do that, so this is just how it's going to be. And for anybody that missed it, this is it's an accordion thing that pulls out. So this is a magnet, and it's like a trophy here, like an Oscar award. And then this was not with this kit. It was something that I printed out from some fussy cut stuff, and it opens, and each of these little pockets here has a different little, like, poster of a movie from the old days. So each of them has that, and this is a magnetic closure. And so I glued that on the back, and it's the same thing as the belly band. You can see part of it, but I could have, but hindsight, at least I didn't screw it up as badly as this one. So this one I messed up because I glued things in that I wasn't supposed to. So you can kind of see right here. This is where the flap was supposed to be that was supposed to go underneath one of the things. So I now have 2 of these. This one's the messed up one. This one's not. And oh man, I was going to put I just remembered. I was going to put some of this here so I could close it. Oh well, I did not do that. So instead, I'm just going to make a closure that goes all the way around because it needs to be closed some. So I'm just going to have this be out like that, and I'm going to wrap this around twice and cut it off, and then we'll be able to tie it on this end. Oh, and Christy, these are the scissors that I was saying that I had sharpened. Where is my little sharpener thingy? It should be right there. Why do I not see my little sharpener? Oh, because I moved it. I don't know why I did, but I did. This is the little Fisker sharpener for anybody that's wondering. It sharpens your scissors. These were from Hobby Lobby. They weren't clearance, but they were not cutting well. So I just ran them through here. You're supposed to be able to do them at once, but I couldn't figure that out. Every time I would try doing that, it would just mess up. So I just did one at a time. And they work now. They really did not cut at all before. They were like the shittiest scissors I've ever had. And I say that with all honesty. I've had a lot of scissors over my lifetime. And they are shitty. So since I didn't do what I wanted to do to begin with, we are just doing this instead. We're just making a closure. And I didn't cut that long enough to do a bow. So I'm going to tighten it up this way. If possible. I can tighten it this way. And I'm going to do this thing where you do it's kind of like a slip knot. It's not the cutest, but you know, it works. So now we have this one that's good. This one that's We have our 2 little hidden tag things. This one I just have a little skinny thing in. And this was the side of the popcorn container. This was the front and back part. And it's just got a shorter one. It's wider but shorter. So now I need to make a movie journal to put all the, well, not all of it, but this and some of this ephemera stuff in. But for now, we are going to do one of these cards. These are Pete the Cat cards that I get from the Dollar Tree. I like them the most. One side is matte and one side is kind of shiny. So I know some people sand this shiny side. I use the Beacon 3-in-1. I've never had an issue with my paper stuff sticking to this, so I don't know. These are the bags from Hobby Lobby. They're $1.99. Get 25 of them. And they're popcorn bags. So we are going to use one of these to cover our card. And these are like, I don't know what they're called. They're like those bags from the Dollar Tree, the snack bags. They have like that coating on them because you're supposed to be able to use them for popcorn, and popcorn is buttery, and therefore it would make a mess. So I'm going to cut this down to size because I want to be able to cover it. So this is just a Pete the Cat card. I didn't even know who Pete the Cat was, but I was just like, you know, I like these cards. They're bigger than regular playing cards, so that's what I did. So I'm going to measure these. This is still out. Thanks for letting me know, Shea. I am keeping an eye on the clock. So these are about 5 1/4 long and 3 inches wide. So I want to make sure that I can keep a good portion of this image, because I'm just going to put this on one part and then maybe add some things like maybe like a roll of film or something. But I want to keep the image, so that's what I'm looking to do. to, let's see, 5 1/4. I'm going to mark the bag. I'm just marking it with a pencil. Here and 5 1/4 here. So I know how to cut it, and so I'm going to cut this part off first, and then I'm going to cut the bottom part off. And I think I'm just going to use my mini one. I have the lines. I'm not trying to measure. This one is from Hobby Lobby, for anybody that's wondering. It does a really good job of cutting. And if I need to trim anything off the top or the bottom, I totally can. Yeah, if y'all aren't in AIC, Adventures in Crafting, y'all should go join the group. It's free. They do events Wednesday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So I'm going to have to cut this. I don't want these side pieces. And I'm going to see if this is the width that I need. I don't think it is. So I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut the sides off and then glue it on and just sand it. That seems to be the best thing that I think will work for me. So I'm cutting close to the fold on the side. Especially for the front piece, that'll be the easiest thing to do. And I'm going to put it up against the card, and if I think I can see through it too much, I might paint the card. I'm not going to cut this until I put it on the other side of the card, because I'll be able to have a piece for another one if I cut it correctly. Because it's definitely wide enough to be 2 more pieces. Although it is folded and it is glued right there. So I think I am just going to cut that right there. I'm going to cut it right next to the fold. I'm cutting it under the fold. I might get the iron out to iron that down so that it's flat, but I think we're good. So this one's already flat because it was the front of the bag. This is not because it was side, so probably going to fold that. I'm probably going to iron that, so let's get my iron, turn that on. And I can see through this bag because it's a thin layer. So I think I'm just going to paint it with Waverly Plaster real quick. Do a thin coat of that. I'm going to do it on the matte side because I might end up scuffing up the other side. So I'm going to do this side. And I think that just one coat should be fine. Because you can't really see the whole image through it. You could just kind of see the blues and stuff. But we'll do one coat and then see how it goes. And if I think it needs a second coat, we'll do a second coat. Dry real quickly with my dryer. Yeah, if y'all have missed any of the crafters today, you guys, please go back and watch them. We all do different things. There's paper crafting, there's clay crafting, there's decoupaging, there's just all kinds of stuff, you guys. You never know what you're going to see from one crafter to the next. For me, I have been doing a lot of paper crafting. That's wood kits. I know that Heather from Creating with Love and Grace, she does a lot of wood kits because she has a laser. Her husband helps her cut them out. And she also has an Etsy store, so another reason that she has a lot of cut stuff. So let's see if this looks like you can see through it still. I think that's fine. I don't see it through it anymore. So I think we're good with that. And I'm going to go clean my paintbrush after my live, so I'm not completely worried about it being in the water. I am going to, my iron is heated up, so I'm just going to take my parchment paper and just do a quick run over of this one, because my iron is heated up. Just to make sure it's flat. And when I say fast, that's what I meant. I just wanted to make sure it was flat enough to do that. And I think I'm going to use, I think I might use Mod Podge, honestly, for this. I don't have my Mod Podge brush in here that I really wanted, but I can just use something else. I'm doing this because I have the iron out and I'm going to need it again for the other piece. So I figure I might as well just do the dry method for this. It's not going to take that long. Let's see, what brush do I have that I could use? I'm just going to use this one. I have been using a mop brush, but I feel like it keeps too much of the, it doesn't spread the glue as evenly as I would like. I don't normally use Mod Podge for paper crafting, but I feel like it's a decent idea to use it for this. So that, and my heat tool, dry the glue. We'll do the iron-on method. Hopefully it works. And flip it over, probably paint the other side, and do the same thing with the other piece. I'm not trying to mess this up, but that's where my finger was, so I'm just trying to fix that. Although with this being that coated material, because it's a popcorn bag, I feel like you wouldn't really notice it through the paper. Oh. This thing, I'm just gonna stick that there. Okay, I'm flipping it over because I can see it better from the back to see where my sign is, where it says popcorn, to make sure it's like all in. I know I'm gonna miss some of the popcorn kernel because it's gonna cut part of that off, but I wanted to be able to fix that. And I'm gonna quickly clean this really quickly because I feel like it's sticking to my paper. And this is a glass mat from Hobby Lobby. I know a lot of people have the bigger one. This is just the one from the clay section, I think is where I ended up getting it. They have one in the paper section, but I don't think it had all the markings that I liked. So I got the one from the clay section. I think it was like $2 more. Aren't they cute, Beth? I love them. I love going in the party section at Hobby Lobby, quite honestly. So we got that. We got the parchment paper. We're gonna glue this with our iron to reheat it. And I will probably, like I said, I will probably use my sander to get the edges off because I'm probably going to use it on the other side to kind of scuff up the shininess. So we've got that glued on. And it's fine. It's kind of warping a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. I'm sorry y'all had some bad service for your phone. But I hope y'all are driving safely. Is Tamara driving? So this is probably not the best to do with these cards, but at least it's giving me a line, so if I need to come in with the scissors, I have a line to know exactly where I can cut. And I say that because the cards are not thick. I mean, they're meant to be playing cards, basically. Oh, you did, Christy? That's so funny. Yes, Christy does ATC cards. I can show you guys the one I did at the retreat because I have it right here. We did Christmas in July because it was still July, obviously. So Christy did this cool kit for us, basically, for the people that were there at the craft weekend. And she gave us a bunch of different backgrounds and stuff we could use on the cards. So I have a couple minutes. This is amazing. So this is mine. This is the one side. I use this cool pattern paper and this cool stocking that she gave us. And I had brought my stuff with me, so I had these brads. And I used the brad to put the stocking on so I could move it. And behind it is Beachy Santa on this cool background. So this was a paper she gave us. This was a little cutout she gave us. And this was a fussy cut we had that I cut out. And that's on that side. And then on this side, I just put this paper that Christy had. These flip-flops she gave us, I did fussy cutting on them. And I put this cute bow that I had because I had my container with me. So that's what my card looks like. And I have not done any of the other ones because my stuff was all downstairs until basically yesterday. I'm just trimming my corners. I did not have my corner rounder, so that I couldn't do my corner rounding, so I was using scissors. You make cake toppers? That sounds like fun. Okay, I'm coming in with my scissors to cut where I was already trimming with the sander to get this all off. If you ever do these and you don't do the paper sander thing and have the line, you can use your corner rounder to round the corners. Just use, I think, the 10. The 10 fits on these cards. If you're doing a regular playing card, I think the 4 works. And I say that because they have numbers on the corner rounders. And I think they're like millimeters of curves. But I have used the big one, the 10-1 cards where I was using these. So just finish cutting this part. But you had a lot more stuff you had to unpack, Christy. You and Beth with tote bags and bins, and I'm not going to say that my car did not have a lot of stuff in it, but my car did not have quite as much stuff. I am just getting off my little stragglers. Okay. 1 minute, and then we're going to go over and watch Heather with Creating with Love and Grace. And I will finish up this card. It needs some help because it kind of got warped with the iron, but I can only imagine. Oh, thanks, Carla. I can't even imagine Kim. So I can kind of see the stuff in the background still. So I'm definitely going to cover that up with something. I don't know if I want to use a projector. I might do a projector. What do y'all think? The projector down there? Or just the film reel? It's not a big thing. It's underneath this and it's bothering me. So I want to cover it up a little bit. So should I do the film reel or the actual projector? I will probably distress that with my ink because it's too much brightness for me. But I will figure it out. And I will see you guys over in Heather's comments. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys again tomorrow for another craft. Bye, guys.